Well, hello and good morning, or good afternoon, or whenever you're watching this. It is Monday morning, March 23rd, and it is my mama's 66th birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. And here I am in my living room, and it is a new week. And I think it's rather funny to think about this being a new week when we have had our normal schedule so disrupted. So usually on Monday morning, I wake up at 5 o'clock. I am doing my work in the morning prior to waking my kids up at around 7 and then trying to get them out the door for school. But this Monday morning is so different. I think my son stayed up until like 1 o'clock in the morning or something. He's at that age where he's pushing those boundaries. And, I don't plan on going to wake them up anytime soon. So this is our time, a little bit of peace, a little bit of practice to begin our Monday morning. And I was thinking that it might be nice to take some super slowed down moon salutations to kind of, help us stay a little bit grounded. But before we do that, I just wanted to share a little quote from Rumi, which, it's so funny when we read these quotes from mystic writers. He was alive 800 years ago, but he wrote, "Life is a balance between holding on and letting go." And ain't that the truth, right? Ain't that the truth right now, that we are trying to hold on to some sense of normalcy while also just recognizing that maybe we need to let go of our expectations of how things should be right now. So life is a balance between holding on and letting go. And we'll begin with Matangi mudra this morning, which helps us to strengthen our connection to our center, really our solar plexus chakra is what this is all about. My 10-year-old son thinks this mudra is hilarious because it is just all of your fingers folded down except for your middle finger. Just a middle finger pointing up in the middle. And we're just gonna hold this here at the center. Just allow the elbows to drop down, allow the collarbones to broaden. And just take a few really good breaths here. How do things feel in your body this morning? How is your breath? Do you feel low? Do you feel high? Do you feel scattered? Let's just take a few more moments here, maybe 10 to 15 breaths to focus in on the solar plexus, which is that space just below the breastbone and just above the navel. Often we walk around kind of clenching that area. So with these next breaths, think about really allowing that area to expand out and to contract back in. For those of you just joining us, we are practicing Matangi mudra, which is your fingers, all of your fingers interlaced except for the middle finger, which is pressing into the opposite hand's middle finger. And with each breath, can you collect yourself up a little bit, collect up your energy a little bit into that center point. And you just take a little bit of time to return to yourself here. Last deep breath or two. Great, and then go ahead and release the hands. Wiggle those fingers around. You might touch your thumb to each finger pad just for a moment. So interlace those fingers, press the palms out in front of you. Wiggle the shoulders around a touch. Maybe roll that head and neck just a little bit here, not too much. You only get one neck and one head, so let's be sure to take good care of it. We'll open the arms up nice and wide. And then let's find our mats. We're going to practice some yin style moon salutations, I'm thinking, this morning. And we'll just begin by finding a full pranam. So coming to lie down on your belly. As you come to lie down on your belly, stretch your arms out nice and long in front of you. Your palms can be down, they can be up, they can be facing each other. And set your head down, and let's just spend a good minute here. Wonderful. Let's come up into a Sphinx pose. Your elbows underneath your shoulders, your paws nice and heavy into the floor. Think about gently pulling back on those elbows. They're not actually moving, but your lower ribs move forward just a little bit, finding some space in the belly. Might feel nice to shift the hips a little bit from side to side here just for a moment. And then let's take that head around in a circle again. So, or a little half circle, your chin in towards your chest, your collarbones, stretching the sides of your neck. Good. And then let's set ourselves back down. Hands will press under the shoulders and we'll shift back into child's pose here. Arms nice and long. Let's take about 10 deep breaths here in child's pose. Good. From your child's pose, let's stand up on the knees now. Reach those arms nice and high. If your knees are wide, step them together. Reach up. Good. Stack those hips right above the knees, shoulders right above the hips. And then we'll drop the hands down to the lower back and just take like a little bit of a camel pose. It's early, right? You don't have to go all the way here. No need to reach for the heels just yet. Or at all ever really, but just thinking about finding space in the front body. Good, another 2 deep breaths here. All right, and then we'll shift it back out into child's pose just briefly. Good. As you inhale, slide the heart through in between the hands at the top of the mat. Pick it up just a touch for a little cobra pose. And then we'll exhale on back into downward facing dog. And as you find your downward dog, take like a good 7 to 10 breaths to just kind of like pedal it out, to shift the hips side to side. Let your fingers spread out nice and wide here, really supporting the weight of your upper body. Think about gently drawing the low belly in and up and back. Just a couple more deep breaths like this. All right, if your feet are far apart in your downward dog, step them a little bit closer together. We're going to raise that right leg up and back, and then bring that right foot forward. You might step it through in a few steps. You might step it right through. We're going to drop the left knee down. So coming into this low lunge, you might decide to keep your hands on the floor. Another option is to pick up the torso a little bit. Bring the hands onto the knee. Good. You might raise your arms up and overhead. Good. A deep breath in. And as you exhale, take your hands down to the top of the mat. Tuck your left toes underneath. Nice strong left thigh. And then we're going to spring off of that left foot and step it up next to the right and just fold forward. And let's stay here for a good minute too. And again, you might run the hips a bit side to side. I'm a big fan of the hair pull. So you might take your hands to the hair at the top of your head and just give it a gentle tug. This is a nice way to relieve tension in the jaw, the scalp. It's a nice way to lengthen the spine a little bit. Good. We're going to bend the knees a touch. Inhale to come all the way up, reach nice and high. And then exhale to come all the way back down. From here, we're going to step the right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Let's drop that right knee down. And yeah, your hands can stay connected to the floor or to a couple of books on either side of that left foot if you want, or blocks if you have them. Might be nice to lift the torso a touch. Might send those arms up and overhead here. Good, and then we'll set those hands back down alongside the left foot. Tuck the right toes underneath, really engage that right thigh. And then we'll step it on back into downward facing dog. Good, drop the knees. Keep them sort of close together, and we're gonna find a child's pose again. And from this child's pose, there's an option to roll forward into a rabbit pose. In a rabbit pose, the arms come alongside the body, fingers interlace, crown of the head touches down, just rolling up, stretching those shoulders. Good. If you're up in your rabbit, come on back down, and we're going to stand up on the knees. Let's take the hands to the lower back again, like you're going to put them in your back pockets. Broaden across those collarbones. Drop the head back. Good. One more deep breath here. And then we'll set ourselves back out into extended child's pose. You slide the heart through in between the hands, lift it up. Maybe you're lifting the heart up a little bit higher here. Maybe your elbows are bent and you're close to the floor and like a baby cobra, and that's great too. Okay, we'll take that back into downward facing dog. Good. From here, raise that left leg up and back behind. Exhale, step in between the hands at the top of the mat. And let's practice a twisting variation here. So that right hand is going to remain down. Your left hand can come up onto that left knee or even reach up nice and high. Good. One more deep breath in your twist if you're here. Set that left hand down. We're going to step the right foot forward, standing forward fold. This time perhaps interlacing the fingers behind your back. Yoga mudra, standing yoga mudra. Good. Let's bend those knees and sit back in child's pose, reaching those, or not child's pose, this is not child's pose, this is chair. Reaching those arms forward and up. Good. Inhale, come all the way up, reach nice and high, and then let's circle those arms down. Fold yourself forward. Shake the head out. Bring hands down to the floor. Let's step that left foot all the way to the back of the mat. And we'll practice our twisting variation over here too. So the left hand stays down, right hand onto the right knee perhaps, turning your chest towards the right thigh. If you want to reach up, go ahead and reach up. Good, just another couple of breaths here. Okay, let's set that right hand back down. Step back, downward facing dog. Good, a few big breaths in your downward dog. Right, and then let's bring the knees down to the floor, and we're just going to find our backs. And as you find your back, bring the knees in towards the chest. Curl up into this little ball here. We'll rock side to side on the low back. Listen to the sound of your breath. Notice the depth of your breathing. Good, let's send both of our feet up towards the ceiling, legs up the invisible wall. Just spending maybe 5 or 6 breaths here. Your arms might be stretched out to the side. Right, and then if your feet are up, bring them back down, plug them into the floor. Let's take a bridge pose. As you press into the feet, pick up the hips. Your arms are either alongside you or maybe they wiggle underneath you. Your hands interlace, if that's a thing for your body. Good, notice your neck, your head. Pull your chin gently in towards your throat, that hollow between your collarbones. And then as you come back down, let's scoot the hips over to the left and drop your knees over to the right, finding your nice easygoing reclined twist this morning. Good, 2 more breaths over here. And then when you are ready, come on back through to the center. Let's just pause for a brief moment in the center. It could be with your feet on the floor, or maybe you want to send your feet up again. The choice is yours. Think about picking up the pelvis, setting it down. Same thing with the shoulders, just so that the spine can be nice and aligned. Perfect. And then from here, let's press into the feet, pick up the hips, send them over to the right, drop the knees over to the left. Hi, Esteban. And take your twist. Last 2 breaths here. Good, and then come on back through to the center, and it's time for your final pose of practice this morning. So maybe Shavasana with your legs out nice and long, your arms open to the sides, palms facing up. Maybe you want to take a bound angle with the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide. That might also feel like a good thing. Let's just spend 10 to 15 deep breaths in this final pose. And really, you can spend as long as you want here. You can stay here long after I am gone. Allowing yourself this chance to let go and hold on at the same time, living in the paradox, right? What needs to be held on to? What needs releasing? Good. And in what ways can you start fresh? And if you wish for these last few moments in your final pose of practice, you might take your hands into Matangi mudra again. So bringing the palms together and folding all of your fingers in except for the middle fingers, which press into each other. You might allow this mudra to just kind of sit on your belly. Maybe you want to take your arms out and overhead and allow this mudra to be grounded here, out past your head. This mudra of inner harmony, of our ability to conduct our own orchestra, right? Even all of the different instruments we have within us, all the different voices, all the different roles that we fill. Can we be a sane conductor of those? Good, and then when you feel ready to wake your body up a little bit, go ahead and wake it up and wiggle the fingers and toes. Maybe bending the knees, bringing the soles of the feet to the floor, taking a little rock from side to side. Sometimes it's nice to roll over to one side to find your seat, or you might just decide to rock along the length of your spine and sit yourself up. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for practicing with me this morning, and I will be here again tomorrow morning at 6:30. Also, take a look at our YouTube channel. We've got some videos up on there from different teachers at Abide, as well as myself. Have a fantastic Monday. Bye.